What I'm doing right now is I'm templating this rubber compass stamp, and this sort of rubber polyurethane stamp is used for stamping concrete. So basically what I've done is I templated it, I used a pencil and I circled that stamp, and now what I'm going to do is grind down that surface so that when I put a stampable cement overlay in this circle, it's not going to be raised up higher than the existing concrete. So what I'm doing is, you can see here, there's my template, and I'm just going to trace that all the way around. So I actually spent a good half an hour to an hour grinding this down. I would say about 3/4 to half an inch off this circle. And check the link in the description to get yourself a cordless DeWalt grinder. Okay, now I give it a good wash. After I washed it, I let it dry. So this is the stampable overlay, the T1000 from Butterfield. Now this stuff's pretty expensive. In my opinion, I still think that this stuff is overpriced for just being cement. See that white stuff there? That's the primer. And now what I'm going to do is just use this steel pool trowel to flatten out the stampable overlay. And you can see it takes a bit of time. This is very fine detailed work, and this stampable overlay sets up pretty quickly. So you want to make sure, number one, you have enough, and that, that you had that primer down as well. Okay guys, also if you're in the Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge and Guelph area and you need concrete work done, check out my website, theartofconcrete.ca. You could also use a 2x4 to flatten out the area, but I wouldn't recommend that just because this is going to be really messy. The cement's going to get on that 2x4, and you really want to keep this area concentrated. So keeping the stampable overlay in this area here. Yep, so I just continue to flatten it out and work the material down so that every area is getting cemented over. Now this kind of stampable overlay is relatively tricky, so I wouldn't recommend this be like your first kind of project to do. I would recommend start with like parging. Do a foundation wall, maybe like a 10-foot area of a foundation wall, and practice with a hand float if this is your first time, because this is more advanced. This stampable overlay stuff is a more advanced concrete finishing option, and I don't recommend this for beginners. But if you're interested in learning how to do this, I do offer workshops, and they're in the winter in Canada, so we offer them in the winter time. So go to my website, theartofconcrete.ca, and I'll leave a link up above as well so that you can go check it out. Don't forget to hit that notifications button and subscribe and leave a comment. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm applying a clear liquid release agent. That's so that stamp doesn't stick to the concrete. And what I'm going to do is spray the stamp and the concrete. Take the north facing arrow. We've pre-marked this, so we figured out exactly where north is, and it's right there. And what we're going to do is place that north right on that section, so we know that that compass is going to be facing north forever. And this is my nephew Austin, and he's going to give me a hand just to put this compass down. So it takes a bit of trickiness here, but what you want to do is go straight down, just like a helicopter lands, and just straight down on that surface. You don't want to try to shuffle this thing around. So it's a pretty tricky little task to do, but if you take your time, you can do it. So I'm just going to give it a slight shuffle over and then get to stamping. So because it's a thin stampable overlay, it tends to set up quick. The existing concrete will absorb some of the cement, and yep, There you go. So there's the texture coming in. And I'm just going to go around with my feet just to make sure I get all those little grooves and thinner areas that you can't really get with the tamper. Now, normally I would be wearing my work boots, but I'm trying to keep this area super clean. I don't want to get mud all over it. So there's mud on our boots, there's mud on everything. And I want to make sure this area is 100% clean. So that's why I'm in my socks. Okay, so now I start tamping it out just to make sure everything's nice and flat. And there you go. There's a stampable overlay compass on a brand new concrete sidewalk. The sidewalk's only about a week old. I came back the next day to put in the expansion joints again. Please subscribe and turn on the notifications button and leave me a comment. Thanks for watching. Take care.